Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Flexible Nutrition. This is part 2, determining your daily caloric intake for maintaining your weight. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I'm going to put a link on the top left corner of your screen. Make sure you watch that before you get to part 2. If you don't understand part 1, part 2 is not going to make any sense at all. If you watched part 1 already, get ready for a whole bunch of information. So first off, I wanted to share about how I came to this formula. So in 2009, I went to the University of California, Davis. I took a general nutrition course in which tens of thousands of students take this class every year. It's a huge auditorium. The teacher, Elizabeth Applegate, if you Google her, she was the nutritionist for the Oakland Raiders. She's written a whole bunch of books, and I guess from her research, she's come up with this formula that's been used on these tens of thousands of students year after year after year. So with that, let's get to the actual formula. So number 1, you want to find your basal metabolic rate, also known as your resting metabolic rate. So if you were to do nothing all day, you'd still be burning calories, and this is how many calories you would be burning. First thing we got to do though is we got to note that men burn about 1 calorie per kilogram, and women burn about 0.9 calories per kilogram. So 1 kilogram is equal to 2.2 pounds. So that'll help with conversions later. So what you want to do is you want to take your weight in kilos. You want to determine if you're a man or a woman. So men, 1 calorie per kilogram, women, 0.9 calories per kilogram, and then you want to multiply that by 24 hours in the day. So this is how many calories you'll be burning in a day not doing anything, and that's your BMR in calories per day. Number 2, you want to determine your activity levels. So we don't just sit around all day not doing anything. We have jobs, we work out, we play with our kids, we go out with friends, and this will tell you how many calories you're burning doing that. So a sedentary person is someone who has a desk job, who doesn't really work out. A person who is in the light activity levels, they'll be someone who has a little more active of a job and works out maybe lightly for 30 to 60 minutes, maybe 1 to 3 times a week. Someone with a moderate activity level works out a little bit harder, job possibly a little bit harder, but works out definitely a lot harder, weights, cardio, all that stuff. And then someone who has strenuous activity levels, someone who is like a high-level athlete, or someone who has a really tough job like a construction worker, or I don't know, a lumberjack guy, someone who lifts stuff daily all the time. So to determine your daily activity levels of calories burned, you'll take your activity level, depending on where you're at, you'll multiply that by your basal metabolic rate, and that'll give you your calories per day to support your daily activity. And the third and last thing is going to be the thermic defective food. So what that is, TEF, what it is how many calories it takes to actually consume food and distribute it into your body and absorb it and all that type of stuff. It's about 5% for fats and carbs and about 10% for proteins. So let's say you're eating about equal amount of fats and carbs and proteins, then you'll just take the midpoint of that, and that'll be 7.5%. You'll multiply that by your BMR and activity level sum, and that'll give you your thermic effective food in calories per day. So let's use me for example, now that we have these 3 pieces of information. So I'm 160 pounds, which makes me 72.7 kilograms. So first, let's find out what my BMR is. So we'll take my weight in kilograms, 72.7. I'm a male, so I'm burning 1 calorie per kilogram per hour, multiplied by my weight, and then multiplied by 24 hours in a day. So if I'm not doing anything all day and I'm just laying in bed and chilling, not working out, then I'll burn about 1,745 calories per day. Number 2, let's determine my activity levels. Let's say I have a job where maybe I'll have to walk around, do some paperwork, sit a lot mostly, and but I do like to work out and get some cardio and like play some tennis, maybe go for a jog or a swim here or there. Then maybe I'll be in this 50% level. So I'll take 50%, I'll multiply that by 1,745, my BMR, and that'll give me 873 calories per day. Lastly, we'll take the thermos effect of food because I do like to eat. That'll be 7.5%. We'll take that midway point and we'll multiply that by the sum of BMR and activity level. And that's 196 calories per day. So if you add those three things up, this is going to give you your calorie intake to maintain your weight. So that puts me at about 2,800 calories per day. So what do we do with this information now, and will this work for everybody? Number one, this is an estimation. One thing that it does not take into consideration is body fat percentage. So this is good for people who are relatively lean, who don't have large amounts of fat on them. Basically, people who are obese or overweight are going to have different maintenance levels. It's going to put them at a higher kilogram weight, and that'll skew how many calories you'll be taking in a day because it'll make your maintenance a lot higher. But just because you're heavier doesn't necessarily mean that you're burning more calories for the day. So for overweight and obese people, I suggest taking your lean body mass and using that as your kilograms. But again, because this is an estimation, what you want to do is you want to take your estimated weight, you want to eat those calories every day for a week. And you want to also weigh yourself every day for the week. And at the end of the week, take all your weigh-ins, add them all up, divide them by 7, and that'll give you your average weight at those calories. So if I did that, if I weighed myself every day and I ate about 2,800 calories every day and I divide by that 7 and I still weighed the same as I started at the beginning of the week, then that lets me know that that actually is my maintenance level. If it's lower or higher, then there's certain adjustments that I'll have to do. But how do we get to those adjustments? What do we adjust? We can't just say, I'm eating this many calories. And that's where understanding part 1 comes into play. Fats, carbs, proteins. Those 3 things are the constituents of your daily caloric intake. So that's going to be part 3. How do you determine how many calories you should be taking in if you want to lose weight, if you want to gain weight, if you want to stay the same? So hopefully this was really useful to you. It's a really good starting point. Again, it's an estimation. If you have any questions, definitely leave some of those questions in the comments below or message me or whatever you got to do. And look forward to the next episode because it's going to become a lot clearer how to get to these 2,800 calories that I'm supposed to eat, or how many calories that you're supposed to eat daily so that you can maintain your weight. From there, you can go, okay, now that I know that I maintain at this weight and I want to gain weight, I'm going to eat more calories. Or now that I know I can eat this much and stay at this weight, I got to eat a little bit less and then I can lose weight. So again, thanks for watching. Any questions, leave them down in the comments. And yeah, hopefully I didn't miss anything. And remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I really appreciate you guys watching and being really patient with me in making these videos, and hopefully they're very informative to you. Oh yeah, again, thanks for watching. Sup guys, Timothy Enrique Lee here, back with another video. This time I'm covering the topic of flexible nutrition. This is going to be a multi-part series in which I discuss flexible nutrition and its different aspects. The first aspect is how it is based on the principles of if it fits your macros, also known as IIFYM, also known as flexible dieting. So to start off with, what you need to understand is what a macronutrient is.